Hello, my name is Kelsey Richardson Blackwell, and I'm the Director of Academic Advising here at Augsburg. I will be reviewing the curriculum and registration process. First, you will need to log into inside.augsburg.edu under AugNet Services. This is where your email is located, which is our official form of communication. You will have a calendar and a directory search, and then Moodle, which is your online learning platform for your classes. Please click on Records and Registration. This main page can connect you to both your academic and financial information. Let's start over here with student information. You will see your student ID number. This will be printed on your student ID card. Below that, there are a couple links here for you to update your personal information and to make sure your parents' and guardians' contact information is correct. Next, under degree major, you will see your major if you've provided one. If this is not correct, please click Edit and update your major. Underneath your major, you can add a minor. This is not required, but a minor is typically 5 or 6 classes in a different subject from your major. Again, not required, so feel free to leave this blank. Underneath that, where it says catalog year, this refers to when you started at Augsburg and which catalog you follow. So this should say 2020, 2021. Next is faculty mentor. This is probably blank for you right now, but we will assign you a faculty mentor, which is someone that teaches in your major department. Moving forward, you'll be meeting with them to discuss registration, graduation, internships, and jobs. An academic advisor will also be assigned, and they are here if you have any questions related to navigating the university. Underneath your academic advisor, it will say your planned graduation term. You can update this at any time. IMA Augie doesn't have a registration window, but you should. In future semesters, you'll want to pay attention to what the date is here in my registration window. So the open date is when you will be allowed to register for classes for the following term, and you will need to make sure that any holds you have on your account are taken care of before this date. Moving on to student status, class standing, self-explanatory. Cumulative GPA is next here, and this only takes Augsburg terms into account. You get to start over fresh, start over new here at Augsburg. SAP completion rate relates to academic probation. So IMA Augie here has a completion rate of 81.54%. You will need to watch this on your account. If you fail or withdraw from classes, it affects this number here. If this number falls below 66%, that means you will be placed on academic probation and you will have to work closely with your academic advisor to get off probation so you can stay here at Augsburg. Credits earned are credits you've already completed. Credits in progress are classes that you're currently enrolled in at Augsburg. And then last but not least, this will populate your current balance owed. So if you have any questions about this, you should be contacting Student Financial Services, and their contact information is over here on the bottom left. Here in the middle of the page, you will be able to see any holds that you have on your account. Holds prevent you from registering. Each semester, you'll want to have your holds removed so you're able to register as soon as your registration window opens. Each hold placed on your account will explain what the hold is and who you need to contact to have it removed. For example, everyone gets a faculty mentor hold every term that requires that you meet with your faculty mentor to plan for your next semester of classes. All right, let's jump over to degree progress. Let's click on Transfer Credit Evaluation. As you scroll down, you'll see any courses accepted in transfer on the left and the Augsburg equivalent on the right. Any college courses that you received a C- or lower will not be lower than a C- will not be accepted in transfer and won't show up on this document. There also may be classes that you took at another college or university that isn't offered at Augsburg, or we don't have an equivalent course for it, and that will show up as a generic elective like this critical reading skills course. Some courses that we don't have an equivalency for may show up as an LAF or Liberal Arts Foundation course. And that means the course counts towards an LAF, Liberal Arts Foundation course, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And then at the bottom, you'll see the total credits accepted and transfer and additional notes from the registrar's office. Next, we're going to look at the graduation audit. In order to graduate, all students must complete at least 128 credits. And this document shows the total credits completed as well as the number of credits still needed to reach the graduation minimum. Let's talk about developmental coursework. This is actually your math placement. If it says Math Placement Group 1, that means you need 2 developmental math courses. Math 103 Pre-Algebra and Math 105 Applied Algebra. Please note that Math 103 does not count towards your 128 credits. If you're at Math Placement Group 2, that means you just need 1 developmental math course, Math 105. If you're at Math Placement Group 3, 4, or 5, you do not need any developmental math courses, and you don't need to worry about number 2 on your graduation audit. If you're at Math Placement Group 4, that means that you're at the level to take calculus if it's required for your major. These classes must be completed within the first 4 semesters, 3 for transfer students. Let's move on to, and please note that you are able to retest in math. So if you're looking at that score and you feel like it doesn't reflect your math level, email advising@augsburg.edu and we can explain the retest policy and procedure. Next, you have to maintain a 2.0 cumulative Augsburg GPA. Again, this starts over here. If you fall below a 2.0, you'll be placed on academic probation. Next, we're going to talk about all the core curriculum requirements. This is your general education. And anything that you have in transfer will be marked off as completed in this right-hand side. We require 2 semesters of effective writing. This is college composition. We have effective writing 1 and effective writing 2. Many students are placed out of effective writing 1. As you can see, IMA received a placement based on effective writing 1, based on her past academic experience, and now that requirement is waived. So you can move straight on to effective writing 2. Many students have this course in transfer, just like IMA Augie does. If you don't have this course in transfer, we recommend that you take this as soon as possible because it develops your writing skills to the college level. Next, we require 2 semesters of a Modern Language 1 and Modern Language 2. If you have experience in a second language, there are many opportunities for you to show proficiency in this language. For example, we have placement tests in Spanish, German, or French that you can take because those are the languages that we teach above the beginning level. If you also speak a language that isn't one of those that I listed, you can take what's called the Language Testing International, which is a third-party company that we work with, and they test students in over 90 different languages. So you can take a test through that company. It does have a small cost to it. However, instead of just receiving placement like our Spanish, German, or French tests, you receive actual credit. So we have a number of students that test in, for example, Somali, and they are able to transfer in 8, 12, even up to 16 credits, depending on what they score on this test. That is information that, again, you can email advising@augsburg.edu for more information or ask your academic advisor once they are assigned. We have a health and wellness requirement, 2 courses. One is a foundations of wellness. The other one is a recreational wellness. These are 1 credit classes. They are required, so please don't forget to take it. And they're a lot of fun. This is a nutrition fitness class. And then the recreational wellness class is anything from yoga, Pilates, weight training, things like that. Next, we have the signature curriculum. This is very specific to Augsburg, so you can't transfer these classes in. Everyone's required to take Religion 100, Religion, Vocation, and Search for Meaning 1. This course looks at your vocation. What am I here for, and what am I called to do? And then it also looks at different religions and their different perspectives. Search for Meaning 2 is another religion course, but more of a topics course that you find interesting. And I'll talk about how you can find these classes. Next, we have Augsburg Seminar Engaging Minneapolis. This is College 101, and many transfer students have this completed in transfer because it's for students who haven't been to college before. Augsburg Experience is anything that takes your learning off campus. So for example, a volunteer experience, an internship, research that you do with a faculty, or a study abroad. And that is typically done when you're more in your major, for example, junior, senior year. Senior Keystone course, this depends on what major you're in, and this is a bookend for your experience, prepares you to leave Augsburg specific to your field. Next, we have the Liberal Arts Foundation courses. And we have these 4 different areas, and you need 2 courses in each of the different areas. So we have 2 natural science and mathematics courses. One has to be a science with a lab. The other one can be a non-lab. We have 2 social behavioral sciences that are required. And again, note that they have to be from different departments. For example, if I took psychology, for my second course, I'd have to take something from economics or sociology, political science, or environmental studies. Fine arts, music, art, theater, film, 2 courses, 2 different departments. You can see IMA has an art liberal arts course and transfer and a film liberal arts course and transfer. So those are 2 different departments. Humanities, these areas include American Indian studies, communication studies, gender, sexuality, and women's studies, literature, history, philosophy. And you need 2 courses from these areas as well. And I'll show you how you find what courses fulfill what requirements later on. And lastly, you need to complete a major with at least a 2.0 GPA. Here in your degree progress, you can access major or minor checklists. These will take you to the registrar's office webpage that shows all the major and minors that Augsburg offers. Things to keep in mind with your major or minor checklist is that some majors might have different requirements for certain courses on the checklist, or might have a higher GPA minimum as well. So it's really important that you meet with your faculty mentor every term to discuss how you're completing your major. Next, let's talk about how you'll register for classes. Your advisor has sent you a worksheet that reviews a lot of this same information. On the back of the worksheet, they have included the classes they recommend you take this fall. Here is how you'll register for those classes. Go into search/register for classes to take a look. First, you need to make sure it's on the correct term, and this should auto-populate to your term and your population, meaning if you're in the day program or if you're in the adult undergraduate program or Rochester program. You can choose the department for the course you're looking for. So for example, if I'm a biology major, I would bring up biology and hit search. And it will bring up all the biology classes. Please note the information, the course title and number are listed here, credits, the instructor, how it's being offered, and seats available. So you can see this class has 15 seats available, But if you go down here, this class has 0 seats available, so I would not be able to sign up for this. You can click into the class and find additional information. Here you will be able to read a course description, and you'll also be able to read how the class will be offered this fall. There'll be a section called Notes, which we don't see right here, but you will be able to see if it's offered on campus or via Zoom or online. When I want to register for the course, I scroll down here. Under registration availability, there'll be a button here that says register for this course. And then you have to confirm your registration. Always make sure you confirm the registration. If you're signing up for any science, please note that you also have to sign up for a lab, and that will be listed under the lecture. So if I signed up for this intro biology class, I would then go down here and choose a lab time that works for me and register for this as well. Let's talk about how you register for non-major requirements. Instead of searching by department, I would search by core curriculum. So for example, if I wanted to take a social behavioral science course, I would bring up social and behavioral science. And I would limit it to courses with available seats and hit search. It should pull up every class that fulfills a social behavioral science. Please remember that you do need to take 2 courses in each of the liberal arts areas, and they need to be from 2 different departments. So I can see all of the liberal arts classes or social behavioral science classes that have seats available. Again, I can click into it, read additional information, course description. There'll be a note here that says how the class is offered this fall, either via Zoom, online, or in person on campus. Once you finish registering for all your classes, you can click on My Classes and it will show what you're currently enrolled in, as well where to find the textbook list for the classes you're enrolled in. Next, we're going to look at final grades. This is where you can pull up all of your grades for the semester, and it's also where if you're required to show an unofficial transcript to anyone, for example, insurances, this is where you can pull up an unofficial transcript. That is all the information I'm sharing with you right now. If you have any questions, please email advising.augsburg.edu. And once you've been assigned an academic advisor, you can contact them as well. Thank you and welcome to Augsburg.